evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie on the 4th of May 2020. I'm Richard Vobes, and welcome. We're back after 2 days off, 2 long days where I've been sitting there twiddling my thumbs, doing absolutely bugger all. Yes, we are back for another run of the Vobe shows. God knows how many shows we're going to run in this. Maybe we'll do 250 and then have a little stop. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just do 3 and then, oh, that's enough for me. Good evening. It's nice of you to pop by. Let's find out who's out there in the Vobosphere. In the Vobosphere tonight, he says, glancing at, we got the lovely Julia.
Hello, lovely Julia.
Hello, lovely Julia. We got Michael Angel. We got Ernie. Tally-ho, Richard. Did you watch the Battle of Britain last weekend? To be honest with you, I didn't watch it, but I have got it already on DVD. So I have watched it not since last. Well, anyway, I've seen it. Yes, it's brilliant. Bum bum ba ba da ba dum ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum 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 ba ba bum 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 ba da dum bum bum ba dum. Yes, I absolutely adore it. It's a great film. Tally-ho to you, sir. Ernie says, I, Julia. Who else we got there? Audrey, good evening to you. How are you? Lovely to see you. Fiona Cooper, Stephen Ruff, nice to see you. Days of Yore, very welcome. Linda Kane, hello. Andy Dalgleish, Ron Langley, welcome back, by the way, everybody. I thought, you might have missed me and you thought, oh, we can't wait for him. Or I thought you might have gone, thank God for that. The spell is broken. We'll find something else to do in the evenings. Rami Boo, hello to you. And Steve G. and Ed Loud and Jeff Kellison. May the 4th be with you. Bum, ba ba bum, ba ba bum bum bum. I've got that on my head now. Tracy Murphy, evening all. Evening all. Nice to see you. Robert Croser, hello to you, Monsieur Le Croce. And where in Sussex? I'm here. Of course you are. You're there in Sussex. Where? There on the stair. Where on the stair? Right there. A little chap in Pevensey, where I declare they go with the Romans and the Normans, building castles. Josephine Suter, hello to you. Donna's Kebab. Connor's Dark Corner. Oh, don't go in the corner tonight. Kevin Smith, good evening to you. Andrew Norris. What ho, Vobesters? Just here briefly. Or are you just there in your briefs? That's what I want to know. Tim Williams. I watched The Bridge Too Far last night and The Brittle of Bratton. The Brittle of Bratton. Have you seen that film? That's a fantastic. That's the 1970s version, The Brittle of Bratton. It's a lovely bit of brittle in Bratton. I don't know if you've been to Bratton. It's a lovely little place, but it's a bit brittle there. Bam, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum-bum-bum. It looks shortened wings. Da-da-dum-dum-dum, da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. You'd all be singing it by the end of the evening. Barry Stevens, good evening to you. Mark Dolly McLeod, what? Kevin's Rambles, hello Richard, Kevin here, hello Kevin. Ed Ovett, plus 100 more viewers whose names I can't see. Oh, why not? And Ron Langley, of course we missed you, Richard, of course we missed you. We were aiming, but we missed. Stephen Musco, hi all. Lovely Julia says, oh, jittery for a mo on the PC and mobile phone. Is it jittery? Are we having another problem? I hope we haven't, because we got a load of emails. We've got no emails to talk of, but we've got videos. Lovely, spanking new videos, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, did we lose it? Did you lose? Are we having signal problems? I hope we're not having signal problems. High energy tonight, says Mystic Hair. Yes, well, I've got to, show that I am here. I would hate to, come back and go, hello, everybody. I'm back. It's nice to see me. Yeah, just here, not doing very much, twiddling my thumbs, watching some paint dry. Oh, no, that's Kevin's job. No, absolutely. Got to be full on as we intend to go into the future, ladies and gentlemen. Linda says it's okay on the phone. I thought the jitters was me for a minute, says Kevin Rambles. Oh, nerves of steel. No, just for a moment. It's all fine now, says the lovely Julia. He's lost weight. What do you mean he's lost weight? It's because I've been out on my bicyclette, Yes, I've been out cycling. And coughing. Not coughing with you-know-what. He's lost weight. I've just read that. He's repeating everything I say. What do you mean? And Audrey Forbes Samuelson, Mystic Hair, I saw you on Ubs and Nuts live the other day. Small world. Ubs and Nuts. There's a lot of nuts on here, you know, a lot of them. We've got a lot of videos to get through today, and we have 3 from the Friday show that we didn't show because of the rough transmission. So, apologies for that. So in that case, we're going to crack on with some of them straight away, just so that we don't run out of time. Time, gentlemen, please, time. So we're going to do that in a second. First of all, I want to find out what you think. What do you think? Oh, yes, that's true. I went out today, and I made a video, and then I made a second video, which I was going to play in today. I forgot to do it, didn't I? I forgot to edit the thing. It's still on the editing table. I've just suddenly remembered it. I thought, oh, yes, I know. I've got something to play in. And I haven't got something to play in because I've forgotten. I was busy with other things, you know, don't you know? I was reading the phone directory only the other day, and it was so interesting reading the phone directory. It's got all these names. The character list is immense. How are you supposed to remember, you know, get onto the plot? Never got it even that far, just reading the character list, and they even attach their phone numbers with them. Does anybody still have a phone directory? Does anyone actually have a phone directory at home? I would be interested to know. No, genuinely, I would. And why do you keep it? Has anybody used a phone directory in the last 5 years? Has anyone actually used the yellow pages in the last? Does anybody do that? Or do you just pick up the phone and go, what's the thing? Has anybody, I want to know. Hubnut is a motor journalist. Oh, okay, thank you very much. Hubnut, I suppose, like hubcap. Hubcap, Hubnut. Yeah, very good. Ramiboo says, we do. We do what? We do. Do you do? You do, what? Use the telephone directory. T. Williams says, if ever I saw Where Eagles Dare is on, I can't help watching it again. Is that the one with Clint Eastwood? Is that the one with Clint Eastwood and the whole motley crew where they fly in and they're not teleported, but, you know, dropped in? You only get the yellow pages in China now, do you? Is that true? I wonder what services they do in China. No, I Google white pages from other states. White pages? Not heard of the white pages. No, not used a phone book in years, says Farina Cooper. Stream of consciousness again, says Robert Croser. Is that what you use, a stream of consciousness to get to your phones? Oh, I wonder where they live. Oh, he lives in a hill. On the other side of the hill is a thing. And his number must be 0729 413 4133. I don't know what number that is, by the way. No phone directory, nor looked at one for years, says Judith. Thank you very much. That's very interesting. Roy Langley says, no, I get the Thompson's Local. Do you still get the Thompson's Local? Who? I want to know. Who advertises in these things? Who advertises in the Thompson Local? Wait a minute, I just saw a jittery... What is it? I'm hoping we're not having... I've changed nothing. And there's nobody in. There is nobody in. We did have an internet issue earlier today, and we did have to restart the router. I hope we don't have any more of that. He's frozen again. I just Googled the phone numbers. Yeah, who would pay to advertise in a telephone directory? I miss having phone directories by towns in the USA. In the US, all in whole counties are all piled together. Oh, okay. I have one. They still drop phone directories at your door in Virginia, and a huge waste of paper. Yeah, it does sound like a waste of paper. What's Yellow Pages, says Carl Osborne. I've just been using Google for years. I suppose it does depend. Are you in the UK, Carl? And if so, how old are you? Because there may be a certain age of people who really have no clue what telephone directory or the Yellow Pages is, of course. You're in the buff again, says Michael Angel. Sorry about that. I really hope that we're not going to have... we are buffering. I've reset it. Tradespeople advertise a lot. That's true. But do they advertise in the... Why would you? Why would you? I mean, I don't have a Yellow Pages. All okay. Okay, well, as it's all okay, let's go to our first video. Let's have a little look in the video box. And in the video box, we're going to... Hello, I lost my camera now. In the video box, we're going to go to it. Sorry about this. I've lost my camera. I'll come back to it in a minute because I can't even see where it is. It's not assigned. Here is a A moment of Murphy in the black.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Moment of Murphy with me, Andrew Murphy. Today is Sunday the 26th of April 2020, and in previous videos I mentioned at the top of the deviation line in Fareham that there's a place called Knoll Village. Now up at the top part of the deviation line. Last time I went that way, this time I'm going to go that way.
Knoll Village is situated close to the border of Fareham and Winchester. Originally called Knoll Farm, the site opened in 1852 as the Hampshire County Lunatic Asylum after a 2-year construction programme. It was built to cater for in excess of 1,000 patients diagnosed with mental illnesses as a long-stay institution. The chapel was added in 1875 and the site was served by a railway station called Knoll Holt from 1907 to 1964. The 108-acre site closed in 1996 as part of a government programme at the time. Today, the site is now home to 500 plus dwellings consisting of a mixture of flats and houses, many utilising the listed part of the former asylum.
Currently we are looking at the old chapel that was in the grounds of Knoll Hospital. It even has a memorial to commemorate World War One. I have come further along my walk towards the north of Knoll Village, and behind me is Knoll Cemetery. Over 5,500 people were buried here between 1852 and 1971, as shown on this plaque.
May they rest in peace and rise in glory.
The other side of this fence is like a pool of bluebells. Today I'm going to finish my walk here, the other side of Knoll Village. I would just like to thank you for your company, and until next time, bye for now.
Well, there we are. That was. I've got a slight technical hitch here on the video side of things, which I'm going to try and fix on air. Thank you very much, Andy Murphy. Very kind. Love that great big building there that was the lunatic asylum or some such building. Who would want to actually move in to a former lunatic asylum? Probably, obviously, very expensive and all nicely done out and what have you, and there's no residue of any lunatics in there other than maybe all your neighbours, of course. But very strange, very weird. But Andrew, great video. I don't know what software you use to stabilise it, but it does have some very... Oh, steady. Watch it. Stay there, would you? It does have some very peculiar effects. I actually quite like it in a weird way. It sort of has this weird morphing quality to it, which is... it just seems to work for you. It just seems to work. It wouldn't work for me, but I just think it sort of works for you. It's great. Anyway, Beach Writer says, never move into an old lunatic asylum. Very creepy. I filmed, actually, when I used to do extra work in old TV programmes, and I think I did a film or something called Young Chaplin, and there was another thing that Richard Attenborough was directing, and near Virginia Water, which is not a person, it's a place, Virginia Water, which is in Surrey, near Windsor Way and near Runnymede and all around that sort of neck of the woods. There's this place called Virginia Water, and there I don't know if it's been turned into flats or knocked down now. It probably isn't standing. There was a very much a Victorian ex-lunatic asylum, and it had been, mental hospital is what the term that we would call now, but they were known as lunatic asylums. And we used to film I remember going there many times to film different parts. They turned them into streets of London, some of that brick and what have you, and put up some fake streets in there. And you could wander around inside some of the rooms, which is all derelict and fallen to pieces. You weren't really recommended to do that if you wandered off the set, if you weren't required. And of course, many times when you're filming on the extra world, you do that. You're waiting and waiting and waiting. You sort of wander off and you go, what's down here? We'd go there, and it had a great big water tower and then all these sort of red brick various buildings. Absolutely crazy place. But it was weird because we were doing our videos, but you were aware that people had once had very sad lives in these places and treated abysmally by the doctors and the nurses who didn't really fully understand what was going on. And in the original Bedlam, that was built in near Moorgate, the original Bedlam or Bethlehem Hospital, back in the, I think the late 18th century, when it was built, you would pay. You could pay if you were a rich person. You could pay to be amused by the lunatics at Bedlam, the original, which is why we get the term Bedlam. You know, when you say everything's gone a bit mad and it's a bit chaos and all over the place, it's Bedlam. Bedlam's short for Bethlehem Hospital, which was at Moorgate in London. And they built some, I think, 2 more Bedlams since then, and they still have that term. The lunatics moved to Brussels and are now running the EU. Yes, that's true, and they're all a bit up in arms because I think the EU is falling to bits. Luckily, it's where they go to do ghost hunting shows. Is it? Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Chaplin's mum was in a mental asylum, as shown in the Chaplin film. Oh right. Oh okay. Witch's house. We're all on a lunatic scale. It's all a question of degree. That's true. You probably put me quite high then, I imagine. One flew over the cuckoo's nest, says Linda Kane. Brilliant. Yes, I flew out of the cuckoo clock. So just be careful when it's time, because I'm on a spring. Cuckoo, bing, cuckoo, bing, cuckoo, bing. I want the little doors. If only one was working in a genre where money was no object, and you could just say, do you know what? For the future shows, talk to the carpenters, the chippies. Yeah, producer, get the chippies to build a door that's like a cuckoo clock, and I can just come out of it in the opening credits. Ding, cuckoo, ding, cuckoo. It's the Vobes Show. He's completely cuckoo. Ding, cuckoo, ding, cuckoo. That would be quite fun. I'm full of lunatic ideas. Yes, putting in cavity insulation. Oh, yes. They found it out. What are you talking about? Robert Croser says, putting in cavity insulation, they found it over the lintel. They buried it through, and it fell. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about something. Well, obviously. Andrew Norris, yes, however, the ones I worked on. Oh, okay, he's talking to somebody else. We're on a lunatic. One flew over. Do you have that cat on display, Robert? What is he on about? Cat? Beachrise says that Zelda Fitzgerald died in an asylum in a terrible fire. Very hard for F. Scott Fitzgerald to get over. Yes, I imagine it must have been awful. Andrew Norris, isn't the Imperial War Museum built on the site of Bedlam? It may well be, actually. I think you're right about that. It's certainly built on the site of something famous, and I think you're quite right. I think that is the site of it. So from one bunch of loonies to another, I suppose. Finally, here, says TurboStream, I was on the blower. How dare they phone? Yes. Who was it? Who rang you at 8 o'clock? Oh, hello, yeah. I can imagine poor old Adrian there up in Birmingham. Birmingham? I'm just about to be on. They're going to play my film on this programme I watch. It's very important. Yes, I know, Mum. But I'm all right, yes. I don't mean to be rushing you, but there's something on the internet I want to watch. I really do. Yeah. No, and they're going to play a video by me. I've got one of the... Yes, I know, Mum. I'm not being rude. I'm really not, no. I've got to go now. Yeah, it's really nice. Do you do that thing when you're on the phone and you're trying to get rid of somebody and you know the conversation's going, and you lower your head so that you can get the phone receiver onto the plinth bit, you know, onto the base. Yes, all right, yeah, no, that's very interesting. Yeah, thanks so much. And do you do that? Is that just me, or is other people do that? You're on the phone. Oh yes, double glazing. Oh yeah, no, I don't need any double glazing. No, I'm absolutely sure I don't need. Look, I've told you once, I've told you twice, I'm telling you now, I don't need double glaze. Yes, I'm sure it's very nice. It's triple glazing, is it? Yeah, triple. That's right. Anyway, yeah, nice to meet. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, bye. Bing, bing. What? Fourth glazing? I don't want any. Do you do that? Jeff Kellison says, I think they already did it. It was called laughing. Laughing? I hope we are laughing. I read about Bedlam, says Mark Donny McLeod, when I was researching Richard Dadd, the painter who murdered his father. Poor guy had schizophrenia. Schizophrenia? Oh, you don't want to do that too often. Michael Angel says the National Gallery is... I don't know what. He just left it there. The National Gallery is. Robert Croser says, Richard, listen closely. When my house was being renovated, we found a mummified cat above the door lintel. I'll call you on it. Oh, yes, I haven't opened up the phone lines. Sorry about that. I forgot about the phone lines. There we are. Look, you can call the Vobes on 0793 4746 790. The number is available for a phone call. Oh, interesting. You had a cat mummified. What did you do? Wrap it up in bandages and shove it up there in the lintel? That's not very nice. You're a mean man. You are. Yes, more Chris Foss man. What? More of a Chris... I don't know what he's on about. Sweet. That's the holding of the sort of phone with a dial. Oh, yes, that's sweet. That's... Sweet, that's he's holding the sort of phone with a dial. Yeah, do you remember the phones with a dial? Excuse me, I just got to get rid of a bit of tickling throat cough. Linda Kane says, I saw an exhibition of Dad's work at Watts Gallery a couple of years ago. Strange but interesting. Who is this bloke called Dad? I've never heard of him. Showing my ignorance, as my father would say. Oh, Richard, you are showing your ignorance. That's what he would say. I'd be talking about it, and he'd be talking and said, oh, this bloke, whatever his name was, Stephen Dad, was it? Richard Dad, was it? Not my dad, but my dad would say, and I would say, oh, yes, who's Richard Dad? And he was, oh, Richard, you are showing your ignorance. It's like, well, if I don't ask you the bloody question, Dad, I won't know the answer, will I? If I don't ask... Oh... You are showing your ignorance. My father is in a box, a cardboard box. He's in a plastic bag within a cardboard, well, what's left of him, his ashes, on probably the other side of where it says the Vobes Show. I have to be careful. He may well be jinxing me. So you can forgive him his digressions, Mark DM. Yes. The possibilities of reincarnation and another band of evaporated... I don't know what you're talking about. It all sounds a bit Fruit Loop to me. Let's go back in the video box and change the subject and see what else we've got in here. Now, oh yes, I want to just do something here because... hang on a minute. I'm just coming in here. Copy. And I've just got to go in... Sorry, can't see the screen, you see. Can't see the screen. Just got to do this. Go into videos. No. Stop. And I've got to paste. There we are. I've got to paste myself in there. And I still can't turn that on and off so easily. Where is it? Oh, it's right at the top. I just got to shove that down. Look, I'm talking to myself because you guys are talking to yourself a few minutes ago. So I'm just decided I'm going to talk to myself. Don't care. I don't care. Don't care was made to care. But anyway, now we can go into the video box. Am I in the video box? I'm not in the video box. I've got to go into the video box. And let's have a look. Barry. Oh, yeah, this is fun. Barry and Faden went out and about and made... I love the picture of Faden at the beginning of this. I just love this. Hang on. Just have a quick look at this. Oh, why isn't it working? Don't you just love that picture of Faden? I think the travelling duo is brilliant. Let's have a look where the travelling duo are and what they're up to tonight.
Richard. Today we are in the village of Chawton.
We're in the village of Chawton in Hampshire, which we're going to take you around on. It's a lovely day, quite windy though.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you in the next part. Let's show you this lovely little thatched cottage there. I'll just go over to Faden.
This is that house there is where Jane Austen, the author, used to live.
Yes, as Faden said, this is the house where Jane Austen used to live, the famous author. This is some of the landscapes of Chawton, which obviously would have influenced Jane Austen's books and writings, and who she became. Her brother and other immediate family also used to live in Chawton, and I'll show you the house that her brother used to own very soon.
The church I'm pointing at the moment is St Nicholas's Church.
This is St Nicholas's Church, where actually Jane Austen's sister and mother, I believe, are buried in here. So we'll go now and see if we can find the gravestones. So I'll show you this monument of Jane Austen. It's been put here.
Looks very well kept.
It does.
We're at the graves of both Cassandra Austens.
Yep, we're at the graves of Cassandra Austens, which they had the same name. One was the sister of Jane Austen, and one was the mother, and this is their graves. We'll pan around to the cemetery and the church.
You don't really normally get sisters that have the same name.
You don't, it's quite rare. It's probably more common in their days though. As we leave the church, I'd just like to show you the side of the church.
It looks quite big.
It does. We'll walk out and we'll show you Chawton House, which was owned by Jane Austen's brother. It's a very magnificent house. It was built about 400 years ago in the Elizabethan era. It's a Grade 2 listed building as well. Would you like to say anything?
Both of these houses are quite big.
They are. Anyway, we'll get back to you for the final segment. Goodbye. Okay, we're going to finish the video here. Just a little bit of information I didn't tell you about. Chawton was first written about in 1068. Obviously there were settlements, people living here long before that. But anyway, we'll say bye-bye for now. Bye-bye all.
Richard and Noel.
Bye-bye, take care.
There we go. That was the wonderful travelling duo, Faden and Barry at Chowden, or Chow somewhere. Chawton, was it? No, not Chow. It did come up a few minutes ago. The home of somebody famous, the writer woman. Anyway, it was all on the video and you saw it. I've just noticed that Linda Kane says, does Richard ever actually read the comments? I do struggle to read them. I'm trying to look at the camera. I'm trying to operate the equipment. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but you all talk to yourselves. So it's very difficult to sort of work out where you are and what's going on. I'd also make sure, I have to glance down and make sure that this is actually on. The microphone's on. It's not all the time. You were talking about somebody called Richard Dad. Fairy Fella's Masterstroke. Not quite sure what that is, but whilst you were busy nattering away, I did find some excerpt of it. There's a picture of it, which I'm sure you'll agree is rather nice. I think there is some more to be seen of that if I can find another excerpt for you. I think somebody around here was a puzzle. Somebody had made a puzzle out of it. Let's just see if I can find that. View the image here. There's another little bit for you to look at. And so I don't know anything about this bloke, Richard Dadd, but I gather he painted this in the lunatic asylum at Bedlam, was it? Is that what you're saying? I have no idea. I'm trying to keep up, but whatever I do is substandard. So there we go. I am trying to read the comments. So anyway, where were we? Like the thatched roof. John Astin, Richard Jane Austen visited Worthing in 1805. Says I'm reading your comment now, Linda. Notice how I'm reading your comment. I meant after the show. Oh, after the show, Richard Jane Austen visited Worthing in 1805, the house she stayed in. Now, I'm just trying to decipher what that means. Barry says, thanks all. Enjoyed filming that. It looks a lovely location. I've got to go there and do a video. Once we get out of lockdown, that will be good. You can call the show, by the way. The number is 0793 4746 790. Oh, I see what you mean. Do I read the comments after the show? Good God, no, I haven't got time to read. Barely have enough time to read the comments that people leave on the video and try and answer them. I'm a very busy man. I've got hair follicles to pull out of my scalp, don't you know? I've got glasses to peer through. Oh, I've got air to breathe and heartbeats to generate. It's very busy being a Vobe creature, don't you know? You think it all just happens automatically, but oh no. Mark Selwood says, hi everyone, sorry to be late. I'm at work. Oh well, I hope it's all going well at work. Josephine says, I think he goes to bed after the show as he's up with the larks. To be honest with you, that's absolutely very true. After the show at 9:30, I go in the other room, I do the thumbnail and the description for the following video and make sure that that's all scheduled and ready to run. And then by which point it's about 10 o'clock. And then I'm off to beddy-byes because I'm usually up at 6 o'clock in the morning struggling to get the pug out of my false eye. Hello to the caller who's called the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi.
Oh, not the wrong number again. I wanted the pizza shop.
Oh, what kind of pizza would you like? I can do that too. I can bake bread. I can have a go at doing pizzas.
You definitely should give that a go, Richard.
Yes, I have actually. I have made pizzas. When the kids were very young, we did have a go at making our homemade pizza because basically I just thought pizzas were too fattening and full of horrible stuff. And they never put enough good stuff, good toppings on it. So we used to do it ourselves. I have to say the bread part of it was a bit of a fine old thing. But the toppings, it was, it was more like pile whatever you like onto it, really.
Mm. I often find low-fat cheese works best with pizza. And I'm not a fan of all this sort of low-fat stuff, I think... a bit of fat in your cheese and your butter does you a bit of good, but I must admit, low-fat cheese works well with pizza. I think it stops the base going soggy.
Oh, is it? I thought it was mozzarella that was supposed to be a nice fella. Is that the stringy one? You know, the one that turns into silly...
Very, very stretchy and stringy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Silly string would be good, but probably not edible.
Yeah, I can't remember how I discovered it now. I think I just saw some low-fat cheese in the fridge someone had picked up and threw it on the pizza and was amazed and never looked back. So
no.
When I do make pizza now, it's sourdough base and low-fat cheese on top.
Oh, right, sourdough base. That sourdough is the one that takes about 5 days to get the yeast going, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. It takes a lot of patience, but once you get there, it's
yes.
You can make your bread in the morning, go out and leave it to prove, come back in the evening and stick it in the fridge and bake it the following morning. So
this sounds I know you rang probably with something far more interesting, and we should move away from baking bread. But whilst I've got you there, let me ask you this question: this sourdough, I'd like to give it a go. But it takes this 5-day process of doing whatever you do with this yeast. And I haven't really gone into it and researched it or anything because I'm a thicko and a lazy chap and I've got other things to do. But if you've done this 5-day thing, once you've done that, can you just keep using the same thing so that every time you do a sourdough, you don't have to wait 5 days?
That's it. Once you've got it, you keep it for the rest of your life.
And you can
It's
do
like
it
a pet.
like a pet, and you can do it quite easily. You haven't got to wait every. So if I said on the Monday I make the sourdough, Friday I've got the yeasty stuff, Saturday I could bake the bread, Sunday I could bake the bread, Monday the next Monday I can carry on baking the bread.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, every day you're discarding half, which you can use. You don't have to throw it away.
Yeah.
And you're feeding the remaining half.
Right.
So it grows and grows every day. If you don't discard half, it'll be overflowing the jar and, ransacking the neighbour's kitchen. So you have to use it. If you're not going to use it, keep it in the fridge. And scientifically, they'll say it retards the process. I hate using that word, but that is the name they will say.
Right.
And it just
What's wrong with the word
down.
process?
But yeah, it does slow down the process, and you don't have to feed it for about 5, 6, maybe 7 days, depending on how cold your fridge is.
Yes.
It is an art form in some sense, more than a science. There's a lot of guesswork involved, but it's like when you made your bread. Once you got the knack of it, you can repeat the process. And
well, I do have to confess, I did have a dodgy moment yesterday.
Yes. I think that was the Naked Englishman I heard about that, or maybe you're reading in the morning. But,
yeah, it flattened like the souffle had gone. Boom.
It happens. I'm afraid it happens. It happens to the best of us. I mean, I've been baking at home maybe 14, 15 years, and it still happens to me. It's embarrassing. But...
Well, I've been baking for 14, 15 minutes, and I didn't expect it to happen to me. I
guarantee it's happened to the best.
Do you know? I put my head in the oven because the gas doesn't come on anymore. So it was no good. Anyway, you didn't ring it to talk about frothy bread. What did you ring about?
It slipped my mind again. But while I've got you on the phone, I should tell you I've followed your style approach when it comes to the old hair. Since I couldn't get a haircut, I sat there with the razor, shaving it all off, I'm walking around with a cold head now.
We want a photo. Have you got a camera?
I've already got a video on the way. So I've done a little impersonation of you. I hope you don't mind.
Of course I don't.
It'll be a laugh.
Oh, of course I don't mind. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, people don't recognise me. I went into my corner shop and hello, and what? Do I know you from somewhere?
And have you kept the beard?
I did keep the beard until I did the video. Then I shaved the beard off to just look a little bit more like you for a laugh.
Right. And have you got comedy glasses?
No, that's the only thing that was missing. I had no glasses to wear because I've never had glasses. My brother's only got one pair, so I couldn't borrow his.
No.
But never mind. It was just a laugh.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not criticising at all. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see it. I think what an amazing thing to shave your hair off and your beard. And no wonder nobody recognised you. The thing is, what you should have done, of course, well, I suppose this isn't the right time to do it because I'm sure they're not open. But had it have been ordinary times, you should have first gone into the bank with a pretend gun in your pocket, robbed the bank, got a load of money, then shaved all that off. So when they come knocking on the door, like they always do, say, "Are you the bloke who robbed the bank?" You go, "Me? Do I look like the bloke who robbed the bank?" Oh no, of course you don't. And you would have got away with it.
I think I may have just got caught when they got me old Prince of Fingers, but it would have been worth a try, wouldn't it? Yeah. You
would have got away with it if it hadn't been for those pesky kids.
Yes, the old Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm quite surprised at the difference it's made. My whole body feels cooler, not just my head. My whole body feels cooler.
Cooler?
I couldn't believe it. I was walking around one sunny day about 2-3 days ago, and I just shaved it off the night before, and my whole body felt cool, whereas normally I overheat very, very quickly.
Oh.
So,
well, you've now got a cool look and a cool body, and you've cooled me.
It's amazing how many people don't recognise me though, especially where my voice changes quite a lot as well. So
does it?
People, yeah, I had a lot of voice problems going back a few years, and then living with my grandfather, I had to speak with quite a baritone voice when I speak to him.
Yes.
So my voice is always changing. People probably notice on the videos, 1 minute he sounds really deep, the next minute he sounds really light and fluffy, and what's going on? So, of course, I walk into one shop, my voice is different to yesterday, and they don't recognise me.
Do you put on different accents as well?
Without even realising. So this is my telephone voice.
It's very
but
nice.
Then if I was having a face-to-face conversation, it might be completely different.
Yes.
And, I'm like, oh, hello, Trot, what's going on here then? And you wouldn't know it's me.
Well, I'm. When is this video coming? I'm eager to see it now.
Well, I'll have to hurry up and edit it tonight and maybe get it in tomorrow if I can pinch my brother's laptop. I hope he's listening.
Well, I mean, I don't rush anything, obviously, but of course, we'd love to see Bald Ed.
Shiny head.
Shiny head. Bald Ed. You could be an eagle now, couldn't you?
I could be a lot of things.
A bald-headed eagle.
I could indeed. Well, I better let you get on with the show, but it's lovely talking to you and lovely to see you back again.
Thank you very much. I hope that you missed me a little bit, even though it was a flash in the pan.
Missed you a lot. Take care, Richard.
You
Bye-bye.
take care. Look after yourself. Thanks for calling. So there we go. How many other people are going to shave their heads and their beards, if they've got them, just so that they can make a video and be on the show? Is it going to be you? Are you going to shave your head to look like the Vobes? What a complete and utter crackpot. However, we love him dearly. What a lovely bloke. Mystic Hair says some men like bald women, and some women like bald men, I suppose. Oh yes, there we go. Like Bruce Willis, says Barry Stevens. I wonder if it's the money that might go with it. Mystic Hair, like O'Connor. Des O'Connor? Gabriel says, shave mine today. What is it? Is it the weather? Is there something? We're in the mad. Is it the 1st of May has sent everyone a bit mad? Like the mad March hair. Oh no, it's March. May dust. Is it the hawthorn? Is it the perfume of the hawthorn that has sent everybody barking mad that they've reached for the Bic razors? I would like to know, people who've never shaved before, who've never used, how did you do it? I'd love to know what technique you've experimented with. What sort of razor, when you decided to shave your hair off, how did you do it? I use a Bic razor. I use one of the cheap, nasty Bic razors just to maintain the baldness and to stop this sort of 5 o'clock beard growing on the top of my head. Here I don't have to worry so much, but it does come round here, you see. And of course around there. So I use the Bic razor. I use the sensitive ones. You've got to be very careful with them, obviously, because they're very sensitive. So if you accidentally swear when you nick yourself, they go into a bit of a quiver. Oh, don't talk to me like that. They are very sensitive little razors. And they don't like to be thrown away afterwards. You have to kind of very carefully leave them on park benches and things like that. Take them out and you say, hello, darling, come with me. Would you like an ice cream? Oh, yes, please. Yes, that will sharpen your wit, you say, or words to that effect. And then you just nip off to look like you're buying them an ice cream. You never come back. Of course, there is a problem that people think you're litter bugging, of course, or other people accidentally sit on the razor and slice their legs off, which is a shame. But as A&E apparently are pretty empty at the moment, not very many people coming in, they need the service because, after all, with everybody staying at home, A&E sort of sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Wouldn't it be? I was thinking about this the other day. If this stay at home, save the NHS. This is no good, is it? It's no good. What they haven't realised is if everybody doesn't get ill and nobody needs heart transplants or brain surgery, the NHS is going to sort of go, what are we here for? And suddenly people will be sacked left, right and centre. We need people to be going out and getting run over by buses or falling off buildings or drowning in the sea. Not to death, but just enough so that they can rescue people. There's no point in them. If we eradicate coronavirus and by the same default get rid of all the other viruses out there, because let's face it, nobody else is probably getting them out. When was the last time you had influenza? You probably haven't had that, have you? Because we've all been self-isolating. When is it the last time you've had any kind of common cold? Probably haven't had it. We probably got rid of them all by all this health, and nobody will be going now to the A&E. My son Billy, here's a factum totem pole. My son Billy, he works as a receptionist at A&E in Worthing. It's absolutely true. He's got this job. He's been there for a week. And I asked him, what's it like? He said it's very quiet at the moment. He says, normally I've been told it gets quite busy. And he said, but people are scared to come in. So they're all, people are at home having chopped their leg off, having done a little bit of DIY, trying to put a shelf up, cutting a bit of wood and actually slicing their leg completely off and going, oh, well, I better not go in. I don't want to catch, I'll just bleed to death in the corner rather than get coronavirus. And so it's incredibly empty at the moment, which is, I suppose it's quite reassuring. But I just thought that was another bit I was going to tell you about that. There was something in my mind that Billy had said about the A&E. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'll probably think of it later on. Not tonight, Josephine, not tonight, says Stephen Ruff, apropos of I don't know what, because I wasn't potentially watching. Our hospitals are laying people off here, but we still can't go out. Yes, what about the big hot, the angel, what was it called? The Florence Nightingale angel, the big hospitals. I watched a thing earlier today, and this pandemic where we were going to be flooded with patients, we're not flooded with patients, and actually, weirdly, and I've heard this right from the beginning, that this thing is no bigger really, not that much bigger. It's not the Black Death. And it's not been the pandemic where we've filled up the hospitals to capacity. I mean, either we've been very, very good and we've all stayed in and not passed it round. And I'm not criticising that at all. Don't get me wrong. I won't get you wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that. But we've sort of got all this preparation stuff. And apparently people are twiddling their thumbs. Because not if you're up in the Midlands. I understand the Midlands is now all up slightly up north, Middlesbrough or around there. They've got it bad. Mark Silver says the first 10 minutes of TV's Casualty has got very boring. Yes, I bet there's nobody probably walking about. Beach Ride says, yes, going out gives them job security. People think they will lose some sort of immunity to things because we've been so housebound. Well, I do think that was another thought that I had. I thought we've all been inside. We've not been subject to the normal common cold and various viruses and illnesses that we would normally fight off like that. Poof, yeah. Oh, what's that? Nothing. My body is used to fighting that. We're all going to go out once lockdown is over, get into the environment, the slightest thing is going to irritate us, bring us out in sweats. And you know what will happen? The worried well will be going, oh, it's coronavirus, it's coronavirus. And suddenly we'll all be locked down again once more, which would be barking because it's being locked in away from sunlight, which is probably doing us more harm. Keep it light, Richard, says Mr. Hair. Mystic Hair. Mr. Hair? Mystic Hair. Mystic Hair, you need to shave. You need to shave that hair. You need to shave it off. That's the thing. We don't have any kind of razors here, says Robert Croser. Well, what do you do to shave then? Do you just use a kitchen knife? That would be a bit much. Ed Loud says the only reason we have not filled ITU capacity is because people have done the distancing and stayed home. If we had not taken these extreme measures, hospitals would be swamped. Swamped? Swamped? Are you suggesting that the floor of a hospital is sort of squishy with wild grasses and squishy mud, along with all sorts of weird sort of invertebrates crawling along, or even toads and lizards? Ooh, we wouldn't want that in our hospitals. Come Walk With Me says, I had a cold before Christmas, so I should be fine. Yes, absolutely. Jeff, he's doing air quotes. There's a rant coming. No, there isn't. There's a video coming. If you want to stop me from ranting, by the way, the best thing to do is to phone in with an interesting subject. That's probably the best thing. But let's go to the video box. There is a video playing in the video box. I forgot to turn it off. Next up, Adrian. Here we go. We're going to Birmingham and we're going to... I can't remember now, Adrian. Oh, it's something to do with canals, I'm sure. Oh, yes, that's right. Two-parter. Adrian, if I remember rightly. This is brilliant. We've got part 2 of this tomorrow. Adrian, Turbo Stream, take it away.
Hello Richard, Adrian at Turbo Stream again. So we did a bit more gongoozling. So we're in the Smethwick area of Birmingham now. So this is what would have been the industrial heartland of Birmingham. I wanted to show you this interesting canal junction. So you can see there we've got a lock, we've got a bridge, and we've got a little octagonal toll house. That's the kind of toll houses there would have been on this stretch of the canal. Well, I wanted to show you, we're actually above 2 canals here. So let's have a look at those in a bit more detail. So you can see there I'm on a little bridge, and as we pan around to the left, you'll see there's another arm coming off this canal. It's a feeder canal for the reservoir, Edgbaston Reservoir, and you'll notice there is an ornate bridge. And down below there is the Birmingham Mainline Canal. So you can see there's a lovely ornate even iron bridge. So the canal at the bottom is the Birmingham Mainline Canal. That's a small aqueduct feeding Edgbaston Reservoir. One of the little hidden gems of Birmingham on the canals, as the legacy of our Victorian forefathers. What I do like on these canals is the old railings. They could have just stuck a railing in, but they decided to make it ornate, and especially these little pillars. This is on my bike today, and look at the pillar. What a wonderful thing, made out of cast iron.
What a lovely ornate bridge that was, wasn't it? Wasn't it? They did things back then. They had a bit of class. Not now with the old utilitarian buildings. We were talking about that in the reading this morning. Don't know if you wanted to join us. By the way, should mention the thank you very much, by the way, Adrian. Apparently I called you Andrew the other day. Julia said, "Did you know you called him Andrew?" And I said, "Oh, did I?" Sometimes I I take the first word and just add something else to it, like apostrophe. Could have been work. Could have called you apostrophe. That's no good. Adrian, no, thank you very much. Very kind. And I hope you weren't too upset when I did a very duff Birmingham accent earlier in the show. I hadn't had a stick come in and poke me in the gut quite yet. Normally I get that if I get it in the neck if I've said something really terribly wrong. Yeah, really like that. Part 2 of that is in tomorrow's show, so do join us there for that. And I was going to go on to say that we're reading Narrowboat, but we've moved the time tomorrow. We're testing it out at 2 o'clock British summertime, UK time, British summertime, for the reading of Narrowboat by KFC. It's the bank for me. No, LTC Rolt. And he is up near... Well, he was up near Stoke earlier today and at Trentham Hall, so not a million miles away from there. So anyway, brilliant. So thank you very much. We've got a great class of videos in the box to show. Now, if anybody wants to call before the next video, you know what to do. Give us a tinkle on the appropriate number, which is 0793 4746790. Give you a moment to ring, or we'll go into the next segment of this. I notice Andrew Norris, who was here only for his briefs. He is still here. It's nice to see you, Andrew Norris. What beautiful curved shapes in this video. The paths, the bridge, the women. Lovely. What? The women? Oh, wonderful. Sorry. Absolutely. It's a lovely video. Mark Selwyn says, I think we should spray paint the Bald Explorer graffiti on all these lovely buildings. Yeah, that's right. Then the police will be turning up Hello there, Walthamstow CID. I understand that you and your gang have been out painting on bridges with a Special Bald Explorer logo. Is that true? No, officer, it wasn't me at all. Are you sure? No, officer, it really wasn't me at all. I can get the knuckle dusters out if you would rather. Yes, it was me and my crew. Marvellous. Would you like to step this way? We are going to arrest you and put you in a cell for the rest of your life. Don't worry, I feel like I've been self-isolating. Can I get out at least once a day to go and make a video for my people? Oh, yes. You get more freedom in prison than you do in the lockdown, which is probably a truism if ever I heard one. I prefer Vobes Uncut to all that PC malarkey, says Mark Donny McLeod. Thank you very much. I just say what's on my mind, and sooner or later I'm sure the powers that be, wherever they be, will probably cut me off. I try not to say anything too absolutely outrageous, but, you know, there are certain things that you've got to say, haven't they? I would call in, but does Maris head in? Maris's head. What's a Maris's head? That's what I'd like to know. Is that the figurine on a boat? Is it? Is that what that is? Come walk with me, the Vobe gang. That'll be an interesting gang to be in. Yes, wasn't it that lovely man who said, do you want to be in my gang, my gang, my gang? Do you want to be in my gang? Only we might get arrested if we get caught. As indeed he did, Mr. Gadd. Ye Gads, that's where that comes from. The kids were going, oh, ye Gads, run! He never got them, though. Not all of them. He got some of them. That was enough. Lock him up, says Robin Marshall. Yes, exactly. Lock him up. They did. The lovely Julia says, that's okay, Robert. Don't need to hear any more about the cat. No, we've had plenty about the mummified cat. If only they would stick some cotton wool in the cat's mouth so it would just go, woo, woo. I shouldn't say that because lovely Julia loves cats. Turbo Stream says, I should have realised that I had crossed to Sandwell in Dudley, but no one outside the Midlands had ever heard of it. Dudley? Dudley? Eric Loud says, a policeman points to the graffiti. Vobes points to the edge of the canal. It's a bank, see? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and no one's rung, so we will go into the video. Bom-bom. So what's in the video box this time? So they were the ones that we were supposed to see on Friday, and now we've got limited time, but we still have a wonderful selection. Now, the next video, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the next video. Is Mike Dixon out there? I haven't seen Mike Dixon's name. Is Mike Dixon out there? He is 61, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it's his birthday today, but he said it was on his 61st birthday, so it's either yesterday or today. Mike, are you there? I need you to explain yourself, really. He has sent in this video. There is very little audio, and it looks like he has filmed through a net curtain or something. It's the most peculiar video. Now, Mike Dixon, very nice man, but he suddenly turned 61. And I'm not going to use the word senile, but, you know, he's always going on about mental health and all that sort of stuff. And he's a very nice bloke, and I've met him, and he's got his goggles for looking at lichen very close up and all that sort of stuff. Well, he was bought something for his 61st birthday, and things started to visit this thing. He got so excited that he sat up in bed and filmed through the net curtain. Now, I know you're eager to see this. I'm just waiting to see if Mike Dixon is actually there to own up to this. He does look like, I haven't seen. Has anybody actually seen him? Is he maybe, you know, it's oh, Richard, be careful what you say about people's ages. Yes, Mr. Kevin. Sorry, but well, I'm you know, did you know every year I get a little bit older? Not a lot, but a little bit. So, let's have a look and see what Mike Dixon has provided for us today. It'll blow you away. It really will. And thank you very much. Oh, there he is. I'm here. Hello, I'm here. Give him a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mike. 61. 61 to you. 61 to you. 61 to you. 61 to you. I think we saw Mike earlier. There he is. No, look, who is Annette Curtin? I don't know. She's Annette Curtin. She's a lovely girl, Annette Curtin. And if you can see through her, you're doing a better thing than I am, Gunga Din. There we are. Look at this. Happy birthday, Mike. There we are. Get the prizes out. So let's see what birthday present was bought for him through the lovely Annette Curtin, who's a delightful lady. Here it is, just for you. Oh, I pressed the button and nothing happened. Why is that then? Press it again. I'll have to do it this way round. Right, here we go. Let's try it this way round. Hello, welcome to the Vobes Show.
Oh, hi, Richard. It's Mike Dixon.
I thought it would be you.
Old.
I thought it would be you. It's nice to welcome a senior citizen to the show. Hello? Where are you? Have you gone? He's got his phone's just gone, ladies and gentlemen. Where's he gone? Do ring again, Mike. Ring me again. We're watching the birds with, I think they're crows, aren't they? Are they crows? They look like crows to me. Great big crows. Hoiking in. Here he is. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
I don't know what happened there. He got cut off by mistake.
Yeah. Been intercepted by the Secret Service.
Yes, indeed. So I'm watching your crow. Are they crows? What were they that visited?
I think they're starlings and sparrows.
Ah,
Literally
right.
Just on, my Helen bought for my 61st. She bought this. It's a RSPB window bird feeder.
Yes, it's fascinating to film it through the net curtains, or well, they're not.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not net curtains, are they? They're very nice.
They are like linen things.
Oh, linen.
But I didn't know. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and when I put it back up another day, I'll restock it. I'll try it without the net. See if I think the birds are just focusing on the food.
I think they are. I don't think they'll be too worried about you peering at them because they'll be. Look at that one there. There was one. The last one came in. He looked a bit scrawny.
Yeah, that one looked pretty OAP of the bird world.
Ah, bless you. So what's it like being 61? I didn't think you were. I thought you were far, far younger. You look dynamic and youthful and in great shape.
Yeah, no, I feel very good. I retired at the end of April. I still do some work supporting people with dementia and their carers, but on a Monday. But otherwise, I'm retired, and I must say it's an absolute godsend. I'm not a millionaire because, the NHS, I don't get my state pension until I'm 66. But so I'm living on the NHS pension, but it's enough to live on. A bit like yourself, I've got no rent and got no mortgage. So, and enjoy life,
Absolutely. Well, I know you get out with Bella a lot, and we love the videos and the places you go to. And you cycle around a lot as well, don't you?
Yeah, we're always out and about, and I think it's just, with this whole pandemic situation, you just got to accept, really, because if you try and fight it too much, it drives us nuts,
Yes.
And I think it's just appreciate. And for me, as you know, it's tuning into nature and,
yes.
Just to appreciate what's around you, because most of us are walking around blind, not really seeing or appreciating, what is around us, even in a simple, urban park or somewhere,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's great that you do get out on your bike and cycle around. But the question I wanted to ask you was, are you doing more of that getting out and about cycling because of the lockdown? Because, we've only got this 1 hour or this period that we're supposed to just go out and do our exercise in. Or would you be doing that as much anyway.
I think definitely doing more, and I think it's made me more aware. And I practice, mindfulness, and I think I do that every day. Which I've done that. I did a course for NHS staff many years ago, 6 years ago. So I still involved with them, and some of the staff who facilitate it. And I must say, for me, it's massively helped. It just turns the brain off a little bit, even if it's for half an hour or so.
Just explain in words of one syllable what is mindfulness, and how do you practice it?
It's really just a kind of form of relaxation and focusing your mind. Say, when it's being led, the session's being led. You're listening to what the person's saying, and it's really just a kind of a relaxation process. So it's kind of focusing systematically on various parts of the body. So it could be focusing on your thumb and your fingers and your hand, and your arm and your head and your ears and your nose, and then your chest and your legs and your feet and your toes. Now, the weird thing is when you're doing that, and you can do that equally in nature, is when you're walking, is focus on the trees or the leaves or the flowers, or actually on your steps. One of the crazy exercises they do is mindfulness eating, because most of us eat, certainly I do, eat too fast,
Yeah, so I gobble
we're not
food.
We're not really appreciating, and for people, Vobesters that have done mindfulness, they would have know about the John Kabat-Zinn raisin exercise, and it's literally just focusing on one simple raisin, which obviously people use in baking and making cakes and all the rest of it. But this is literally holding one raisin, which is a dried grape, I understand. And it's actually focusing, with it in your hand and your fingers, kind of where it came from, usually somewhere hot and sunny, I don't know, Spain or Italy or somewhere, or, somewhere around the Mediterranean, so where they produce them. And then it's thinking of how that was grown and who grew the vine, and, that cared for it and fertilized it and watered it, and then cultivated it, and then eventually harvested it when it was ready. And then the people then transported it to, the docks, and then it was brought over here in a ship. And it's thinking more. So it's actually, while you're thinking about these things and that process, and that's why it's mindful, because you're kind of focusing on it in more detail. And it's thinking of the sunshine and Mother Nature that created that raisin. And then actually, before you even then put it in your mouth and actually feel the texture or the smell, and then you take one bite of the raisin, and actually the taste of the raisin is quite amazing when people do the exercise. And people have done this all over the world. As I say, the leader of the people who set this up was a doctor from Massachusetts, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. And he was the medical director of the Massachusetts Medical Center. He was their director. So he was dealing with people who had cancers. He'd done operations, cancer, treatment. They'd had radiotherapy, cytotoxic drug treatment, physiotherapy, and all the rest of it. And he had then just taught them this kind of form of relaxation, which he'd learned himself. And he found that a lot of the patients actually got better quicker, that they needed less pain relief medication, and they were more positive, and they slept better, and they actually responded better to the treatment, and they were discharged quicker. And equally, what was amazing is those patients that had gone through this kind of mindfulness training with him, they were the people who often needed fewer readmissions and further surgery, which is pretty amazing,
Yeah, no, I think the power of the mind is well and truly, we've been saying this for years, because they were in the 60s. I remember there were a whole load of books about the mind power and various things, and yet we still put the physical world first and the mental world second. And as you say, the power of mindfulness. It's interesting, if people were to take your raisin example, and when they're eating much of the food that they eat, they might, if they start thinking about exactly where that food has come from and how it's got to you, it's great with a grape because it's probably got a lovely, healthy story. But maybe some of these TV dinners or these takeaways, when they think about the rat that was caught and chopped up and put into the soup, it may not be such a good idea.
But I think it is crucial, because I'm very much to the theory, we are what we eat.
Yes.
I follow the work of a London doctor, Patrick Hulford, he's at Oxford University and at London School of Economics and University College London, and he looks about, Kim over in Lewis will know all about him, and very much about, what constitutes a kind of healthy diet. And the reason I got involved with him is because, as you know, I've worked in mental health, and he did a program, about mental health and your diet, and you are what you eat.
Yes.
So a lot of depression, anxiety, fatigue, is really because, we're eating a whole load of crap, and then we feel a whole load of crap.
Yes, and why should that be a surprise when you think
Absolutely.
it's all chemicals? By the time you've crushed it down, you've got it in your mouth, whatever it is, it's gone into some sort of chemical mush, of which the gut is trying to process the good stuff and kick out the bad stuff. And no wonder it's going to give you headaches, nervous dispositions, fatigue, mental illness, and all of that. If you're continually putting in stuff, which also we know. I mean, this is what I don't understand. The human psyche is a strange thing, because it's like people who smoke or sit in front of the television. They're not necessarily thick people or unintelligent. And doctors, look at doctors who smoke and eat the wrong foods. They know they shouldn't be doing it, yet they still do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, so concentrating on what you eat and just thinking in the way that you've just been speaking about, it seems to me very sensible.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these things, and like what this John Kabat-Zinn came up with mindfulness, and a lot of these different things, I'm part of this group, looking at positive psychology within the NHS, and it's still very new and very, kind of on the fringe. But I think with this coronavirus pandemic, people are getting more in tune, as you were saying earlier, that we've got to get more in harmony with nature rather than trying to fight nature. You know about it, out in the countryside, that you just, that some of the farms, they just use so many chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, artificial fertilizers. And I was listening to Izzy, who is and her husband Charlie, who run the NEP project over at Horsham. I know your excellent film. I went over there the other day. Just popped over there for I was in that area, so I popped into their shop. But they realise that trying to run a farm on that type of wheeled soil is very, very tricky. You're pumping in. They were literally putting in millions of pounds a year of chemicals, and still weren't getting very high yields of crops. And now they've let it go back to more nature, and they're producing a lot more free-range meat, and the animals are just wandering around, thousands of acres, and on top of that, making more money would have done anyway without this lockdown, out of eco kind of camping.
Yes.
And helping people to tune into nature again,
Josephine Suter is asking, how do you do mindfulness? You described a session where somebody else is doing it to you and taking you through this thing. Is that something that you do yourself as you sit there? What do you do? Lie down, sit down, get comfortable, and just think through a process?
Yeah, the best thing to do is look online, on YouTube. You'll find loads of. It's finding the one that suits you. I would generally advise, I personally upset your American, viewers, but I like, for me, UK practitioners. But it's finding the one that you like, which suits your taste.
Yes.
The lady that's done our training, I'm still in contact with. We did the training through the NHS, and it was set up just because of the massive stress levels that staff are under.
Yes.
And the training I was, it was funny enough, I went to the Sussex Beacon, which is the HIV/AIDS hospice in Brighton. Anyway, I was there for work. They were having a health day for staff, trying to help boost the health and well-being of their staff there and volunteers at the hospice. Anyway, I saw on the timetable after I was giving my session, and I was then working for the NHS Stop Smoking team. So after I saw that, after me there was this lady giving a talk about mindfulness. Anyway, so I rang them and said, look, I'm coming along and doing my slot, but I saw on the timetable that this lady, Judy Lewis, is giving a talk. Would you mind if I stay on and listen to her? Anyway, they checked it out, and they rang me back and said, that's really fine. Anyway, there was only about a dozen of us in the room. Anyway, she's a lady of few words, just take us then through some of these exercises. And I just thought, wow, this is fantastic, because I would describe myself as an atheist. My mother was a devout Catholic, and my father was a member of the Church of England.
Gosh.
But I never really got into all that kind of stuff.
No.
And, for various reasons, I just didn't really believe in it.
So what was she saying then? What was the crux of it? Because I'm going to have to...
Yeah, it was just that very much, taking you through some of these mindfulness exercises.
Yes.
A couple I would say for people to look out for online is called the body scan.
The body scan.
Which is around about 30 minutes. So it's one of the longer exercises. But it's like that one I said earlier. So it's starting maybe with your head.
Yes.
And your eyes and your ears.
So you
and your nose.
You work through the whole body.
Yeah.
And I guess the point of all of this is it takes your focus from the general worries and stresses of life into a different phase.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's giving you that, the way I describe it, it's very much like a record, the old-fashioned record,
Yes.
going round.
Yeah.
But you're actually, with the little arm, lifting the needle up.
Yes.
And then the record is still going round and around.
But you're not thinking about it at the time.
Yeah, and then, because I do think, in positive psychology, the more you go into worrying about things and regurgitating it and analysing it, it just... You drive yourself into the ground,
You do, yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think things like pandemics at the moment, there's nothing we really can do to control it. It's like ringing you and getting involved in your road show, your radio show, and going on your walks when we've been on them.
Well, we do worry, don't we? We worry about, this is one of the things the news does to you, is you worry about things on the other side of the world that you can do absolutely nothing about, and only 5 minutes ago you knew nothing about, so you weren't worried about it. Then all of a sudden you've heard of a volcano and people are dying in a horrible, agonising way, and you're suddenly worrying about these people that you didn't even know existed. And you're worrying, what can I do for them? I can't do anything. I could send a bit of money or something. But, suddenly your life is impacted by a news story that if you hadn't switched on the radio and never heard, your life would not be, you wouldn't have gone down this moment of worry. And I think the news does a lot of that. Listen, we can't spend too much time because we're coming to the end of the show. But, Mike, thank you so much. And thank you for sending in the birds.
Yeah.
On your
it's a bit wacky, but I thought...
Yeah, no, we like wacky.
Yeah, I think it's those kind of things that help us through this dreadful situation that we're in.
Absolutely. More of it. We look forward to the next one, Mike.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye. There we go. Lovely Mike Dixon there on mental health. If you've tried mindfulness, I'd love to know. Do make a video about it and send it in. That would be good. Lots of chat going on in the chat box. I've got photos of the old man of Store on my FB page, says Robert Croser. I can't sort of just dip into it because obviously some of it is a bit mad. Let's go into the video box. He says, trying to get in there. Now we've got two more. We've got three more videos to get into. Mr. Croser, let's do. This is. I'm gonna. Oh, we've got another phone call. Hold on. Let's go to the phone. Hello, caller.
Mr. Vobes, sir. This is Eric, sir.
Eric? Eric? What are you doing on the phone? I hope you're not wasting my money on my phone. You're supposed to be in the basement.
Oh, I'm stuck in the basement, sir. It's been years since you've talked to me, sir, and I'm starving, down here. I've got nothing to eat but the rats.
The rats, they're your pets. You let them out. What have you let them out for?
You haven't been feeding me, sir, and I've been smelling that bread that you've been making, and it smells so wonderful, sir, and I've been so loyal. Could I have just a little bit of that bread that you've been baking, sir?
Well, I was surprised that some of the crumbs haven't filtered down to you, to be honest with you, Eric.
Well, I mean, the rats have been getting to those, sir. I've been letting them fatten up with them.
Well, can you not fry some of the rats? Although I don't really want you lighting fires down there. You know my policy on that.
That would be a bad idea, sir. I mean, I know you like your 2 up, 2 down, but you don't want the whole place to burn, do you?
No, definitely not. There's too many nice bits of microphones and mixers and things.
Yeah, so, just a little bit of that bread would be wonderful, sir.
Well, I dare say I could cook you a loaf. What would you do? What would you do in exchange?
Oh, I can make an appearance on your show every now and then, sir.
Well, I don't know that we want to... I don't want you to poke your head up because you're an ugly little bugger.
Well, yes, sir, but that's only because I'm stuck down in the basement here.
That's why you're...
No, but that's vitamin D.
Yes, vitamin D. You don't need any vitamin D. I think you'll find it is. Can you stop using?
I just bloody well give away who I am.
You've turned us. You've gone into American and now Australian.
Son of a bitch! Hello, Mr. Vobes.
Hello, John Berger. How are you?
You probably knew it was me anyway. Well, who else would be crazy enough to do that?
Who else would know Eric that well? At first,
I figured that would also be a clue.
You did have me at first, but then because you kept saying "sir," and that was one of his things. I mean, you got the lisp, but you kept saying "sir," and I thought, yes, this has got to be a long-term listener, and there are only a very few. Plus the fact I saw on the phone that it did have an international dialing code. I didn't know immediately.
Well, you know.
But you did it very well.
I knew one way or another I'd be giving it up, but I figured he will never expect anyone to call in as Eric.
No, but it was great fun. It was great fun. It was great fun. So how are you?
Oh, doing well. Temperatures are finally getting up over here, which is nice.
Oh, what sort of temperatures have you had?
Oh, yesterday was quite nice. It was about 20 or 21 Celsius.
Oh,
see,
right.
I'm being international here, not using freedom units.
No, 21. That's freedom units. What the hell is a freedom?
Fahrenheit.
Oh, Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
I thought you said...
Because we refuse to join the rest of the world in that regard.
Yeah, well, I get confused because we've had centigrade and then Celsius. I mean, why did they change that?
You're asking the wrong person there.
Okay, well, I thought, I thought you might... I thought you might fill me in, but at least now you're as ignorant as me on the same subject, so that's okay.
No, it's okay. So we're equal on that term.
Yes. So let me ask you a question. We've been in lockdown for 7 weeks?
Something like that.
What is the film industry doing at the moment?
At the moment, they are either opting to release some of their movies on video on demand, or they're simply pushing out the release date, especially for the big titles. For production, movies have basically stopped being produced.
I heard an interesting thing on the radio the other day, and here's a conundrum. Maybe you could answer this. They were saying this was the cinema chains, and they were saying it's going to be very interesting when lockdown comes to the end because people will be a bit nervous about going to the cinema because of physical distancing and coronavirus and being in a big environment. So that's one thing. The cinemas can open and hope that people come in, but the film producers are going to be nervous about who's going to release the first films for those cinemas because they ain't going to get that many people through the door.
think that's going to be as much of a problem because the movies are still going to have to be staggered out. You know, they're still going to have to be rescheduled. And the movie theaters have already said, well, some of them have said flat out that they're not going to open until there are some big names to put back in there anyway. So Wonder Woman is still scheduled for July, and I know that one, that's expected to be a big one.
What about James Bond?
James Bond is December, I think, and now there are rumors that it's going to get pushed back till next year.
Blimey.
Yeah. So a lot of movies are getting pushed back because, especially if they're already in production, they had to stop production.
Didn't one movie go straight to Netflix or one of the or no, not Netflix. They just released it online before.
Yeah.
And it made a killing.
It did. Well, I mean, it made a killing for what it is. It was the Trolls. Shoot.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
forget
right.
the full name of it, but it's the latest Trolls movie.
And
yeah, so they also broke the standard distribution window. Their agreement with most theaters is that they will not release something to streaming until X amount of time after its theatrical window.
Yes.
And some of the theaters went ballistic saying, oh, you put it straight to video on demand during what would have been your theatrical window? We're not going to show any of your movies anymore.
Right.
So it'll blow over eventually, but yeah, Universal did that and the theaters were not happy.
So, but the cinemas, will they have enough clout if Universal say, well, maybe we don't need you cinemas, because if people at home are quite happy to take our films and we can still make, and in fact make more money and not have to wait, maybe they don't need the cinemas.
I don't know. I think this is more a situation of it's easier to beg forgiveness than to ask permission.
Who would be asking permission?
Well, rather than say, hey, theaters, would you mind if we'd release it now? They decided, we'll release it and we'll just make it up to them later.
Yeah. I just wonder, because, I mean, if this goes on and people are a bit slow to go to the cinema, people are going to want entertainment, and they're going to want new entertainment. That we've got... we have in the UK something called on the radio The Archers. It's famous. It's the longest running soap, I think, in the world. It started in, I don't know when it started, in the 50s. You still there? Yeah. And
you've spoken often of your love for that show.
Yeah, and I stopped listening to it in the end because it got a bit daft. But I did used to listen to The Archers, and it goes out about 5 or 6 days a week. And it's only 15 minutes, or just less than 15 minutes, and it's the everyday story of country folk. Well, here comes the lockdown, and they can't do any more, but they've had about 7 weeks in hand, which I was amazed that they were that far ahead, because often if a news story breaks, a big news story, they try to filter it into the soap so that people can, mention it so it's fairly current. Anyway, they've not mentioned this pandemic because they've had enough episodes to put out. But now, of course, they can't get the actors in together. Even though it's on radio, they still can't get the actors in to make new content. So what they've decided to do for 3 weeks is to halt the production, which I don't think has ever happened before, and put the best of, for 3 weeks, favourite bits from the whole drama since the 50s. Something like 70 years or 80 years worth of stuff. Well, that's all very well. You've also got sports potentially this summer being shown, the 1966 World Cup in duration and things like these sporting highlights. But I think that's, a week of that would be okay, but I think people will get fed up and they will still want new, which is why people go to the internet and watch nonsense like me, because it may not be very good, but it's new and it's not been seen before. So I just wonder...
Well, that also doesn't make sense that they're doing that for radio, though, because as long as the actors have a good connection and they've got decent equipment in their own home, they could still pull the show off remotely.
Well, I mean, they could get away. I mean, I thought if it was me, you'd write scripts in which they're all in lockdown and they're using Zoom and Facebook and things and talking over these things, so it wouldn't matter if it was a bit crackly, and you could get away with it. It all comes into Broadcasting House, and then they edit it up a bit, and and you could add a few cow sounds and what have you, some sheep bleating in the background as they're sitting there going, "Oh, Eddie, you've got to get the cow milked." And so, Clary, don't worry about the cows. All the best characters.
If meteorologists and news people can do their stuff on video from their homes, and people are okay with this, they could have done radio with people at home, and no one would have known any better.
No, I mean, I think it would have been possible. They could have. I mean, the technology now is so good. They could have just posted recorders and things and given them brief, how to set it up and done tests and things, and all the actors could have gone in there and read the scripts easily if they wanted to. But my point was the thing about people are hungry for content, and that's why I was saying I wonder if some of these feature films or these TV series will just release them online, because more and more people are used to now just watching stuff online, and we're losing the habit of going out to anything.
I think that's a fear, but there's still something to be said for movies in as packed a house as they can be under the situation. Especially for movies like comedies, it makes the comedies a lot better when you're hearing everybody in the audience laughing. And action movies, there's just something to it when you also have other people who are reacting to it, and you're hearing that as well. That's something that you don't get at home. It's like I tell my kids, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, you have to see that in the theater to truly appreciate it. Watching it at home, you'll think, this is a weird movie. But you go to the theater and you see the people in the costume, and everybody is talking back to the screen, and all the things that go on in that movie. That's part of the entertainment,
right? And
that's just something that cannot be replicated at home. And I think that's the same degree for a lot of movies that are expected to be like Wonder Woman, like James Bond. You want to be there. You want to be there with the other fans so that you're all experiencing it. There's something to be said about a communal experience for certain kinds of movies.
Yes, and I absolutely agree. But if this goes on for too long and people are nervous about going to the cinemas and they just get used to watching things on their own, they may have forgotten that there is a theatrical element to something that is actually pre-recorded.
Maybe. I don't doubt that there's going to be a little bit of damage to it, but there are some people out there who are predicting that it's going to be doom and gloom, and I don't see that. I mean, after all, drive-in theaters are now thriving.
Right.
Because people want to get out of the house, and they're still in their cars.
Well, that's...
So if you want to see a movie...
Yeah, we don't have that over here, driving. I mean, we've experimented with it.
Yeah, I know.
But that would be great. I mean, I don't understand the concept of sitting in a car watching a film through your windscreen.
Maybe it's an American. Well, they've got them in Germany, too, and so forth. Well, I know that my co-host on TGP Nominal, Mark, would absolutely love to have a drive-in over there. But there you go. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to, start working on that one.
Yeah, I guess it's an idea. It's certainly an idea. Anyway, listen, it's 9:30, and the audience are getting a bit fretful now because they've got things to do, people to see, phone calls to make, letters to write, programs on the internet.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you sometime in the future, sir.
Yes, I know. I beg your pardon, Eric. Go and feed your rats, and I'll send some bread down to you in due course.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, take care. Lovely to talk to you, John. All the
Bye.
best. Bye-bye. There we are, cut him off. The lovely John Berger calling all the way from the US of A. And we've got 4 videos. Have we got 4 videos? We've got 3 videos. 3 videos. Thank you for sending them in, but they've now been pushed back. We've got Julia's dad has sent in a rather lovely video, which we shall have a look at, Tony Neal. We've also got one from Robert Croser. Sorry, Robert, I did try to get it in, but I wanted to get to everything else. And young Gabriel's been gallivanting about with his new Osmo action camera, which the colours are superb. And we will look at that tomorrow. Thank you very much for sending those in. If you want to make a video, then don't forget, you know how to do it. Send them to me, richard@vobes.com, via WeTransfer. But I think that will be it for tonight. Lovely to be back. Thank you for having me. Thank you for watching. Keep cool and carry on. Till the next time, ta-ta for now, he says, trying to get to the exit music. Till next time, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, I pressed the button and nothing happened. Oh, I know why. Here we go. Goodbye. I will sort this out. Oh, tomorrow we'll talk about this new gadget. That'll liven things up. Till then, bye-bye. Bye. So after the show, I'm supposed to sit down and look at all the comments. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Gosh, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. And they're all talking amongst themselves. What could be possibly interesting in there?